Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Breaking Bitcoin with your host Justin Wise for Cryptocurrencies.com. Pretty excited this morning. We woke up to some good gains. We were able to close out OST at 35% profit, bang bang. EVX at 19% profit and ARC at 12% profit. So big thumbs up to our premium subscribers and all our supporters in the Discord. Really excited about that. All right, today we're going to keep it short, sweet, and simple. We've got some exciting altcoins we want to take a look at, some potential trade opportunities, and of course, we're going to break down Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple with the best technical analysis that we can muster. All right, guys, let's check it out. Of course, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to keep up to date on the latest in cryptocurrency and technical analysis, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and hell, click the notification bell while you're at it. Otherwise, what's the point of subscribing if you don't know when we put out something new, which is 3 to 4 times a week, if not more often. And if you're a returning viewer or a supporter, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. We really appreciate your support. All right, to the Chartmobile. All right, guys, let's start off today's analysis with the good old Bitcoin. All right, as we can see here, the descending wedge pattern that we've been charting for a while is still holding. If you had set buy orders as we recommended at the bottom of this trend line, wicking right off that 0.236 Fibonacci retracement, you would be a very happy turtle right now. In fact, you didn't even have to have this touch. You didn't have to believe us, but all you had to do was from right here, just extend this trend line into the future, and it would have hit perfectly. No adjustments necessary. Now, bullish volume is still struggling to push price up. However, we see the bulls step in here quite nicely. The bullish volume is not nearly as impressive as this bearish candle. That's why I'm still leaning to the downside. I'm still bearish overall on Bitcoin. The potential is there for the break, but we're going to have to see what happens as we get closer to the top of this resistance line. But we do see the bulls, giving it the good old college try. All right. So, the bearish engulfing candle right here that we had talked about 3 bars back is still quite important because the amount of volume that this candle was able to command relative to recent price action, it lets us know that there's still a lot of sellers in the market, but of course that makes sense because we were at the top of the trend line. Where do you go from the top of the trend line? You go down to the bottom of the pattern. However, the fact that we went there so violently and so rapidly is a little bit concerning if you are leaning toward the bullish bias for Bitcoin. Again, the point of technical analysis is to take your bias and bash it in the head with a rock so that you can make informed trading decisions. All right, let's see here. Now, again, another thing to point out in there is that yes, 236 Fibonacci resistance point, or retracement point, bottom of the trend line. Excellent time to buy in, right? Maybe you're taking a risk if you buy in blindly, though. You need volume and price action to confirm a good trade. So these numbers, these trend lines and these Fibonacci retracements, they are places for you to watch on the chart. But you can't be lazy because they just give you areas where the bulls and the bots are most likely to step in, where they will step in. But the question for you as a trader is the movement strong enough for you to hop on and ride that wave up to profit? And you need price action and candlestick analysis, volume and candlesticks to confirm that. So keep that in mind. Don't trade blindly based off positions that you see on the chart. Oh, we'll always buy the 618 retracement. That is not a good way to trade. Now, the 618 retracement, the 236, the 382, these are all vital levels that I use on a daily basis. But I use my common sense and wisdom and experience in trading to know whether or not a movement is a good enough bet for me to enter into a trade to ride on the wave upwards. Let's see here. Our smooth stochastic is oversold, moving to the upside, and RSI has pierced the 50% mark. We'll see if we continue to go higher from here. DMI is still negative, so bearish momentum is still high relative to bullish momentum, and the trend is kind of flatlining. So again, that makes sense with the lowered volatility, moving tighter and tighter into this range, this wedge. So we're just going to see what happens. The trade to the upside is still there. Potential targets are still there. These are breakout targets, so don't pay these mind right yet. But I mean, there's definitely targets, but the only target that you really have is somewhere, some standard deviation of this trend line right here, because your upper, your upper resistance line, your most recent resistance lines right here are above where you're going to hit that trend line. If we continue to move on this low volume, it's going to take us, maybe 5 or 6 candlesticks to get there unless we see the bulls pour in with more volume. And right now, I'm just not seeing that. Just not seeing that. So We could pull back from here a little bit more to consolidate a little bit more and move on upwards. But just do your fib measurements and enter where you see fit, guys. So be careful. The risk, just personally, for me, the risk to reward ratio is not there for me right now. Don't feel the need to trade. I'd like to see more bullish volume come in to feel more confident. And then we could take this trade all the way to the upside of the wedge formation. I will say, though, that right here, we do get a buy signal from TD Sequential. We completed our 13 countdown right here, right on this candle, the candle where we turned around and at the bottom of the trend line. So if you were watching that, that was something to keep in mind as well. So bullish factors, we hit the bottom of the trend line and found support, completed the 13 countdown, stochastics oversold, and we do have the RSI reversing and moving upwards. Bearish factors, however, is that the dominant trend is still bearish. DMI is still bearish with a very weak trend, and candlesticks. A lot of bearish volume, and the bulls struggling to even reach the halfway point of the one candle that the bears were able to throw down with one. So keep that in mind, guys. Looking at Ethereum. All right. Now, the symmetrical triangle pattern that we've been following for a while is still holding. We've had to readjust it several times over the past week to maintain its levels. However, we have not seen a break of the pattern. That would not, so we don't have a reason to question the current range trade. Now, as I've stated above and many times, range-bound assets are difficult to trade. This is where you're going to see a lot of people get wrecked. Far easier to trend trade. They're easy to scalp if you're using the 15-minute chart or the 5-minute chart and you know what you're doing and you're using a different method than what I have than what I have on the chart. However, if you're trading over a few hours, range trades are notoriously tricky. Now, bullish and bearish momentum are battling, you can see, are far more aggressively than on the Bitcoin chart. We see a struggle for bullish momentum here, bearish momentum rises up, bullish momentum rises up, bearish momentum rises up. So there's a big battle right now for which direction Ethereum's going to go. Unfortunately, ADX keeps trending lower and lower and lower. That makes sense, obviously, because look how much the range has contracted. We're at the zenith point of this pattern formation, and that means we have to see a movement upwards. Low volatility precedes high volatility. The only problem is that if you have a bias towards one side and you enter on low volatility, high volatility follows low volatility, and if the trades goes against your bias, goes against your direction, then you might be in some trouble. That's why we use technical analysis to bash our bias in the head with a rock and make informed decisions. So right now, we do have to keep in mind that the dominant trend is bearish, and this is a neutral chart pattern. This is most likely a continuation pattern to the downside. We found some support, we came back up, we range trade, entered into low volatility, and then the symmetrical triangle is a continuation pattern to the downside. So sorry guys, everyone's excitement is growing the longer the chart remains boring, as paradoxical as that may sound. But experienced traders know as volatility decreases, what follows is often quite violent, i.e. profitable. Now, I am biased toward the short based on the fact of the dominant trend being extremely bearish. So, neutral chart pattern, bearish bias. All right, everybody's favorite, Ripple. Now, Ripple did break out of the descending wedge pattern formation, ran up to the 236 retracement level and pulled back to test previous resistance as support. However, it did so on extremely pathetic volume. That's why this breakout did not lead to anything. The volume was just not there, so this is not a very impressive breakout to me. It is far just as likely that we fall back into this channel or that we trend sideways from here. Now, XRP is one of the most exciting assets to trade right now, more so than Bitcoin or Ethereum potentially. You know, in my eyes, the dominant narrative is that Bitcoin is destined to overtake fiat currency and be the dominant money. So we're talking $1 million Bitcoin. Ethereum is destined to fail because of inherent design flaws. This seems to be the bias as far as I see it. However, Ripple, with its potential banking connections and far-reaching network and potential to kind of change, safe transactions, this coin could really make speculators beggars or kings. It really depends. There's so much disagreement on it fundamentally that it makes it a fascinating crypto to speculate on, and we're watching this one extremely closely and we trade Ripple extremely often. Now this chart is neutral leaning bearish. I say this because of the following. DMI is still bearish. with a rise in the strength of the trend, slowly creeping up there. Kumo cloud turning to the downside, stochastic descending from the overbought level, and RSI potentially moving back down below the 50% level right here. There are bullish aspects to this chart. There does seem to be a recent turn here, and the negative directional movement. RSI might hold this 50% level again. There does potentially seem to be a double bottom reversal formation right here. And recent price action is a little bit more bullish than bearish. We see a more bullish volume here and very weak bearish volume. But again, recent, within the last few bars, again, this is just low volume. This breakout was not extremely impressive. Now, there is a potential here for a higher low that we've formed here. So if we hold this level, we could possibly see the beginnings here of a bigger trend. Now, we're going to have to see what happens here when we see another touch on the upside. Are we going to form a bigger symmetrical triangle here with a bigger range? Only time will tell. Now, storage, getting to some altcoins. Storage is a coin that we've been watching very closely for the last few weeks, and we've had some nice trades for our premium subscribers. There have been multiple good trades here, and we're looking for a nice juicy trade here to share with everyone. Now is not the time, I think, to buy into storage unless we can actually close above this pattern and see this breakout right now. I don't see that happening. It is a potential that we move to the upside and then we can maybe start looking at some of these targets. However, I think it's far more likely that we move back below the range and we tighten up a little bit more. However, just keep your eyes closely on this storage, man. The trade is on the table right now, but we need to see this candle close and then another candle open above the trend line is what we need to see. That confirms a breakout of this ascending wedge pattern. All right, and I think that the way you can kind of test this is look at this period of consolidation. Look how long this consolidation took place for, the scallop pattern right here. And then we see the movement to the upside and we reverse at the top of the trend line on a perfected 9 count down. And now we only have 3 candles of doji consolidation. So does this generally lead to a breakout? Sometimes it can. Right now, I don't think it will. But you see we have consolidation, impressive move, consolidation, impressive move. Very little consolidation and not so much of an impressive move. We'll see what this current candle does. We are on a 2 of 1. We are not trading above the high of the 1 yet. So TD sequential, there's not a bullish trade on the cards right now. However, overall, this is a very exciting coin to get in. So if you have a longer time horizon, I think you're safe. Bullish momentum is very high or rising on the DMI. ADX is rising up, which lets us know the trend is strengthening, and bearish momentum continues to drop off the face of the map. Stochastic shows we're reversing from the oversold position. Currently, however, RSI, which, based on all these other factors, you can overlook the RSI, but I don't think it's wise to do so. We are in the overbought position on RSI, which is more timely. The RSI is more tight to this current range. This is a smooth stochastic and this is a smooth DMI. So they stretch out into the past more often and they look at the more dominant, they look at the trend in a wider time lens. So potential entries from the breakout would be a retest of this resistance and a previous entry below. You're looking at a retest of this bottom level of the pattern of support. All right. Remember to be patient. Choose your entrances wisely, guys. All right, let's take a look at MCO, Monaco. Now, the fundamentals behind this coin are really impressive at this moment in time. They've just purchased the domain name crypto.com. What a great buy. Their debit card has been rolled out and is live in Southeast Asia. I do not know how that's going, but it's just exciting that they actually have it out. This is actually a crypto that has been promising something for a long time, and now they've delivered an actual physical product for consumers, so that's pretty sweet. And their community's on fire right now. I don't really see how you can go wrong with an MCO holding right now. The chart looks fantastic, man. This ascending trend line has held for quite a while. We continue to form higher lows and a series of roughly like flat top highs. That's why I don't see it. That's why I haven't plotted out a trend line. These highs are kind of sporadic. We have higher highs here, lower highs, higher highs. It's very sporadic. But the important thing to me is the overall bullish trend to the upside. Now, at the current moment in time, do I think an entry is good? No. We've reached the top of the Kumo cloud, giving us resistance to the downside. Far better to look for an entry closer down here to the supporting trend line, because that's what's been consistent. These highs have not been consistent. But we do have potential targets here for the breakout, as I've plotted. So we're looking at some nice upside, 15 to 25% to the upside in the midterm. Now DMI, this is what I'm talking about. DMI has gone extremely bullish. Bearish momentum continues to fall, and bullish momentum and ADX have broken the 25 line, which is my register for entering into a trade. Now, am I going to enter a position right now? Absolutely not. I'm going to wait for a pull down unless we see a breakout of this Kumo cloud. Then I would be looking to enter. So, just from current price action, I mean, impressive. Look at all this. Look at this bullish volume, especially this candle right here. You know, unless I see, it's going to take a lot for bearish. These candlesticks, these bearish candlesticks, are going to have to be really impressive to the downside to make me waver in this whatsoever. But price action and every other indicator and just overall chart analysis, this is a very bullish looking chart. I'm excited to see it. So I hope you guys can take some providence from this. We're going to end today's analysis with Oh My's Go, OMG. OMG, it's OMG. There's so much upside potential for OMG here right now. It was one of our most consistent earners last year during the 2017 bull run. Long may it rain. And I mean, just look at this low volatility. Look at this long period of consolidation. We can clearly see the change in momentum here with this inverted head and shoulders. We had a low, a slightly lower low, and then a higher low, which led to a change, to a slight change to the upside, reached the top of the Kumo cloud and found resistance, and now we're consolidating right here. This long ascending scallop consolidation. This is very exciting to see. Now, there is a danger. Somebody pointed out to me, look, we seem to have an inverted head and shoulders pattern right here. We have a low, a lower low, a slightly higher low, and then we only move up a little bit, and then we continued on to the downside continuation pattern. However, what we didn't have here is this. We did not have this long scalloping consolidation of low volatility. I mean, this is gorgeous. Stochastic found support. RSI is oversold. Bullish momentum continues to rise. Bearish momentum's on the downside, and we see ADX slowly creeping up. So this is an exciting coin to watch. And if you were looking for something to enter right now, I don't think you could go wrong with OMG. Now, of course, risk management. I talk about this at length in other videos, but just looking at this is a beautiful looking chart. So keep that in mind, guys. I want to thank you so much for joining me today for another episode of Breaking Bitcoin. We've been pushing out content very regularly, and that is going to continue to happen. We are dedicated to growing this community and creating the best that we can for cryptocurrency enthusiasts, traders, and investors. Again, if you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Give us some support. Give us the thumbs up and comment down below. Today's comment is, which way do you think Ripple's going to break? To the upside or the downside? We really want to hear your opinions. Again, please head over to discord.crackingcryptocurrency.com and join the community. We put out free trading ideas there, and we do have the paywall for premium subscribers who are interested in joining in on our gains and trading with us. So, I've been Justin Wise for crackingcryptocurrency.com with another episode of Breaking Bitcoin, guys. Keep cracking.